now we're going to pull out two different packets. One is the packet that says page 1 inside the front cover. And the second package is going to be page 12 inside. So now we're going to pull out two packets out of our kit. The first one's going to be page 1 inside front cover. And then the second one is going to be page 12 inside of the back cover. These are going to be pretty simple to make, and we're going to make them rather quickly. The book that we have here, we're going to do the front cover and then the back cover. This is what they look like completed. This one here has the narrower pockets, and then the back cover is this one here with the one large pocket. So let's get started. We're going to start with the front cover first, and we're going to take out our pieces here. I've got some embellishment ribbons here. You're going to find a large red mat. If you look on your cutting guide, you'll see that we have the inside front cover, red cardstock cut, 8 1/4 by 10 3/8, and then we have a plaid printed background. So look in your collection pack and pull out the plaid background, or you could use the extra decorative paper that I put in there. This is what we're going to use, and it needs to be 8 by 10 inches. You're going to need a second piece of the plaid, and it's going to need to be 1 1/8 inch by 4 1/4. So those are the two pieces you need to cut out of your packet. So pause the video and cut those. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the printed piece on top of the red, and I'm going to attach that together. I believe I'm going to do it before I put it in my book here, because let me make sure I do a dry fit. Yes, that's going to fit nicely, and then I can put this in. Perfect. And make that fit. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to quickly glue the plaid, or if you prefer, you can use the holly. Either side will work beautifully. I'm kind of partial to the red plaid and green plaid. I think it's a gorgeous paper. And I've been sitting here too long for it to stay nice and fresh in my glue. Just one little pin drop of dry glue in there will clog it up. I don't know if you guys have that same problem. I suspect that you do. All right, let me put some on there, nice and evenly. Okay, get around those edges. Then I'm going to mat that down, getting it as straight as I can. That looks pretty good to me. Smooth it down. And now I'm going to put it down on the inside cover of my book. Let me make sure this is the front that I want. Or do I want this side? Actually, I think I'm going to turn it over and do this side as my front. So I'm going to turn this like this. I'm going to glue. And I apologize if the video is a little dark today. It is pouring the rain. We've had our fair share here in western North Carolina with rain. Probably more than we would need in a year or two. All right, let's lay this down. Anchor that solidly onto there. Make sure I've missed the spine. Okay, and then I'm going to burnish that down. Now, We're going to build pockets onto this, but let's start with assembling those pockets. You have pieces of white linen cardstock, and you have 5 of them. I've already cut these for you. These are cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then they were scored. You can see that they're scored on 3 sides. That means I need to take my scissors, and I'm going to make pockets out of these. So I'm going to cut across the diagonal. Oh, I've got sticky stuff on my scissors, I can tell. Just like that. I'm going to miter just a little bit at the top of this so that my papers don't catch on the edge. I'm going to fold it and burnish. Again, fold and burnish. Same thing. Got a hair there. Not sure what that was, but I got something off the color. There we go. Now, I'm going to take that and I'm going to insert it in my book in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and do each of these across that line. I'm going to see if I can do it to where you can see it a little bit better in the, there we are. Then I'll cut across that. Cut across that one. Trim. Trim. I'm going to do all 5 of them real quick. So I'm going to finish up by mitering everything, folding. You missed it, guys. I was just talking away and looked up. There wasn't any view because the camera had fallen. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but I want to repeat it if I did. The linen is on the front of the pocket. I'm doing the smooth side in, just so that you'll know. Just quickly put these together. I like to make things as easy as possible. And I don't want the video to be 25 minutes long on 2 pages, so I'm hurrying. If I were doing this slowly at home for myself, I would have made sure all my little folds were perfect, but I'm just quickly going through them. Now, these are my pockets, and I'm going to be stacking them on the page. So I'm going to be putting borders across through there. So the first one that we're going to do, we're going to take this. We're going to take that little piece of plaid paper that we had here, okay? We're going to turn that over. Let me pull down just a little bit. We're going to turn that over. We're going to grab some mounting foam. Yes, I have a problem with mounting foam. I use a lot of it. So I'm going to take a piece of that, and I'm going to put it across the back. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'm going to just make sure I put it correctly on there. So we're going to put it just this way and a smidgen this way. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, why are you popping it up? I'll show you. I'm going to take the red ribbon that came with my kit, and I'm going to use a bow maker. You can tie, crash, burn. If you could see in the background, you'd laugh so hard. Sherry's clumsy. I'm going to take a bow maker, and I'm going to quickly make a bow right in the center of this ribbon. If you don't have a bow maker, you don't know what you're missing. There we go. Now, my bow is perfect. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, line my bow up in the center of that. Let's see if I can get this in camera for you. and tuck my pieces to the back where the mounting foam will hold it. Trim those. Well, I may have gotten that a little too tight. I don't think so. I think that'll be nice. Trim those ends just a smidgen so that you'll have enough tape to hold it in place. Loosen that just a smidge. Okay. Well, I loosened it too much. You know how that goes. That looks good. And then I'm going to attach it right on the top of this pocket, leaving about 3/8 of an inch as a border. Press down from the back, and there's my first pocket. We're going to go ahead and do all the pockets real quick and get those lined up. All right, the next pocket, we're going to take our red border. And before we put that one down, I'm actually just going to use some of the double stick tape instead of the mounting foam on this one. I'm just going to put a little bit on here. And then I'm going to take my white rickrack. Pull the backing off. Take my white rickrack. Lay that across it. Tuck my end behind. Pull it tight. There we are. Don't get it too tight, Sherry. There we go. Trim that off and stick that on the next pocket. Again, leaving, this time we're going to go much, much closer. This time we're going to only leave a hair. For those of you that don't cook and know what a hair is, it's a little bit bigger than a smidgen. That's right. A hair is just a little bit bigger than a smidgen. All right, now my tape's not holding on that edge, so I'm going to take a little bit of glue and stick underneath there because I used too much of the surface to hold the ribbon. And I'll press that down good. Let that dry for a few moments. Next pocket, again, we're going to do the same thing. This time we're going to take our white ribbon, tie a pretty bow. This is actually pretty quick. I wish I had an interesting story to tell, but I'll go ahead here. Oopsie, it's not in the center. That is not going to make a pretty bow, is it now? Pull that apart. Start again on that one. See? It's not just you. We all make mistakes on these bows. And I tell you, it's not in the center of the base, so it's pulling. So let me try this. I'll make it a little bigger, maybe. Try this and this. Are those even? Pretty close. Kind of fudge it a little. Bring it over. Tuck it under and back around. Now we got it. Excellent. And this time, when we put down the tape, we're going to put it across the back again. And we're going to do something a little different. We're going to actually stick the ribbon on first, and then we're going to add twine. This makes a nice little effect. We're going to take this, stick my ribbon around, pull it to the center. Oops, cut it a little bit short there to, let me stick this other side first. I'm not doing very good at showing you guys. I'm just kind of doing it. So let me get down here where I can, now that it's stuck to the table. I do this for your benefit, you know. I act like an idiot on camera just so that you can have a laugh or two. There we go. I did have some bad news last night. My debit card got hacked. Yes. And I'm trying to figure out what to do about that. I don't like that. I must have been shopping too much. Now I'm going to take the red twine. You've got 2 pieces of red twine. Take the really short one here. And all I want you to do is cut, about 2 inches. Because what I'm going to have you do is take a little line of glue right down the center of that ribbon. I'll put the frayed end up under the bow. Line that up right like this. And then you can trim that when the glue dries. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I don't think I got them exactly even here. I apologize. Okay, squirt a little bit more glue there to hold it. Now, when that dries, I'm going to take a pair of scissors that don't have any sticky stuff on them. Trim it. And this one is ready to go on a pocket. Again, very close to the top of the pocket. Just barely leave a white edge. And if you need to, go ahead and stick a little bit of glue under there to hold those ends down. Okay, so there's our next pocket. Next one, this one's very simple. I found some really cool crochet lace. It has adhesive on the back. So we're going to be sticking that down to our red piece of mat. In fact, I'm probably just going to go ahead and center it. Stick it down and then trim that and save that little piece. You can wrap it around if you want to, but this stuff doesn't fray because we've got the adhesive on the back of it. So I'm just going to cut it evenly. Nice. Take some glue or tape. I'll take glue this time. Anchor that down to the next pocket. And again, just a little bit of a white edge to it there. There's the next pocket. And for the last one, we got 2. We've got a red mat and a white mat. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and glue the white mat. This is linen, so the linen part you want to leave it unglued. Put this on top of the red. Straighten it up. Better than I did. Then take your long piece of red and white twine. Scoot this in just a little bit more. And we're going to make a bow with a lot of little layers to it. I think I'll go one less and do it this way. And this is how you make a multi-loop bow. Pull it back and forth a little to tighten that. Then when you slide it off, you've got a pretty little multi-loop bow. Trim those ends. We're going to glue this down to here. Again, that smidgen. Oh, that looks great. And then I'm going to take a dot of glue there and put my bow down in the middle of that. And I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes while we get started attaching all of these mats. Now, to attach them, you can use glue or you can use tape. In this particular video, I'm going to go ahead and use tape because it'll be faster for me. So let me cap up my glue, take a swig of Diet Coke. All right, and now I'm going to take my tape and get started putting it on the flaps of my pocket on the back side. Now I want to try to do this to where the flaps, truthfully, don't stick to the paper on the inside of them. So I'm trying very carefully here to do this while I'm waiting on my bows to sit. I'm going to go through and do that, and I'll be right back. Now I've actually added the tape to the back of all my pockets, so I'm ready to put that in my book. I will take my front cover here. And I see now that I've got it just a little off, but I'm not going to worry about that. We've got too many other good things to worry about. So if yours is off just a little, it'll be okay. I'm going to take this one first, and the top of my pocket needs to be about 1 inch from the top of the red mat, and it needs to be in the center. If you have a centering ruler, you can find that to be exact and mark it. But I'm going to pull the back of my tape off. And again, I'm just going to eyeball it today. Speed things up a little bit, about 1 inch from the top. That looks good. I'm almost in the center there. I want it nice and straight for the first one. There we go. Press it down firmly, and now we have a little pocket there. Now I'm going to take my next piece, and you can use any order on these pockets that you like. I'm just going to go by what was done on our sample that's on the page in your cutting guide, and well, actually on the handout that has all the pictures. And now this time we're going to pull down about 1/2 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch down, and stick that in place. Now, let me show you what I'm trying to do here. See, these are going to work to hold your recipe cards. That top one's going to have to be a shorter one, but at least you'll have an extra pocket. Now we're going to do this one. And you can arrange these in a different format if you prefer. If you want to do them sideways, on the side of the page like this, or at a diagonal, however you particularly like. All right, I'm going to put this one down just a little bit lower. Line it up so they all stay nice and straight. And one more, no, 2 more. I'm going to do the rickrack. Same thing. Go down about 1/2 inch. Line that up. We're getting offside here a little bit. Let me adjust it. There we go. That's better. And the last one. Like I said, you could do glue if you prefer. I like the speed of the tape. And this will be our last one. I'm going to stick it on here. And there you have page 1. All complete. Isn't that pretty? All right. Now let's do the back page, which is number 12. And to do number 12, you're going to need to do... I have to stop and look for just a moment here to make sure I've got the pieces. Number 12, you got another packet, so we're going to take out our red mat. And the pieces that are there. This is our big pocket. You can see the score lines on it. I'm not sure if you can see them okay. But there's 3 score lines to make our pocket. Now this piece here is going to go directly over the back. So let's do a dry fit. That looks good. It's hard to get it even at the top when I can't look over. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down in place and get it out of the way. This glue tip and I are just not getting along today. There we go. Looks fabulous. A little bit around the edges to make sure I got it all. Take this, bring it over. Oh, didn't I get a little bit of glue on there? You know what? It's not going to matter a bit because I'm going to put the pocket over it. So I don't really care. I'll try to get a little bit off right there at the edge. Now I'm going to score that down, or burnish it down, I should say. Perfect. Now, in your cutting guide, when you go to the page that has page 12, you're going to see you need a green stripe paper that's cut to 5 by 6. There it is. And then a holly printed paper, this one, which is on the back of the plaid, which will go like this. So you can use whatever papers you wish, but I'm going to put it in here like this. I'm going to put this piece here, which is the white piece, I'm going to put it down first. And I think I'm going to leave a border this time. Last time I just put it flush, but this time I think I'm actually going to leave a border of red at the top. Now, when I get ready to do my pocket, see, my pocket's going to cover the bottom here. So I believe that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and take my green and I'm going to mount it to the white linen paper. I'd used white linen on the front and back inside covers, okay? Because I wanted it to look consistent. I used it white linen for your spine, or gusset, I mean. But I did not use it for the pocket pages. There wasn't any point. You don't see them. So just so that you know, that's the reason why some of the paper is a cardstock and some of the paper is actually a linen. If you know the prices of paper, you know linen is many times higher than regular cardstock. All right, now I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it down to the red mat. And since I went through 1,000 12 by 12 sheets of white linen already, I didn't have the excess to be able to provide it liberally within your book. Okay, I'm going to put that over just a smidgen. Like, there we go. I made a mess of that, didn't I? It's okay. It'll dry. Nobody will know the difference. Now I'm going to make my pocket. I'm going to move this out of the way so I won't destroy my pocket or the book. Making my pocket the same exact way that I did on the front, or the number 1. It's just a larger pocket. This will let you put a whole sheet of paper in the back if you need to. I know I like to save some of the larger recipes out of magazines. All right, we're going to cut that like that. Do this one. Miter. And miter. And now I'm going to burnish those down one more time. Good. Make them flat. Put some tape on that. Again, feel free to use glue if you prefer. You know, my glue's being stubborn, so I'm just going to use tape when I can. All right, here we go. Pull my back off. Pull my back off. Yes, I should have burnished it good. I didn't. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to get all the junk off of it. And I'm going to put this down to where it will, and I'm holding all 3 flaps. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm holding the flaps up till I get the bottom edge kind of straight, because I want to leave a little bit of red showing on the sides and on the bottom. So I'm holding those flaps to the last second. That's coming out pretty, isn't it? Excellent. Now our little pocket. You can slide recipes in there, and you can either do this or this. I'm going to put the holly on there. There goes those sound effects again. Okie dokie. I'll stick that down right in the middle of my pocket. I'm not going to be going through every single page doing this. You can go by the pictures to decorate them. But for the front and the back, for sure, I needed to do that. Now you have in your kit, you have a piece of red border. This border is going to go like this. And again, we're going to tie a bow, affix it. I'm going to open it up to make it a little bit bigger. I think I'll make it that big. I think I gave you way too much ribbon, but that's okay. I'm sure you won't mind having the excess. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull it just a little bit more so I'll have some left over. And I'm just going to tighten that now into a pretty little bow. There we go. Once again, I'm going to take my mounting foam. I really like using mounting foam. I'm going to show you a neat little trick. Okay, so if I take my mounting foam and I put it on the back of this, you may have seen me do this before. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and I'm going to just barely cut a little piece across of it, like this, so that I can pull off just a smidgen of that back panel, so that I'm showing a naked edge on both ends. Then when I get ready to attach my ribbon, like this, I can leave it there for a moment and let it stick to the table, because it's going to come right back off because I don't have very much secured on there. Find the middle of it, pick my piece up, and now when I attach my ribbon, I've just got a small amount of the ribbon stuck to the back. And then I can make sure it's in the center before I pull the rest of the backing off. Let me make sure it's in the center here and pretty. Not my best bow. Does that look like the center to you guys? I think it is. So now that I've got the center, I'm going to actually attach the bow in the middle with a little piece of glue. A little bit of glue there. And take off the rest of the backing, cut my ribbon. And then I can stick this down inside of my book as well. And it can go. Now, you can do this bow any way you want to. If you want to put a solid piece of ribbon across it and then tie a pretty bow and glue it down, you've got enough ribbon to be able to do that. Whatever floats your boat. So now that's page 12. So you have the 2 inside pieces now done in your book. The front page and the back page. Now we're going to start with these in the next video.